Good morning, students. Welcome to Web Technologies class. Okay, in today's class, we'll discuss the remaining form elements. The last class, I've explained what are forms and what tags we'll use to create a forms and what are the attributes of the form tag that we discussed. Okay, what are the forms? Using a forms, the user can enter his information and that information can be submitted to a server. Okay, that is the purpose of form. Means forms provides interactivity between a user and the server. Okay, using the forms only the user can enter the information and that only that information can be submitted to a server. So it is an intermediary between user and the server. So finally, using the forms only the user can enter the information. So how can we create a forms in HTML? Using a form opening and a closing tag will create a forms in HTML. So when you are using a form tag, there are some attributes which helps the user to give a server name and the path, how to send data from client to server. That information you can give by using attributes, and that attributes written inside a form tag. Okay, and next after that, what I've explained, input tag. Okay, one more child tag of a form is a input. Okay, what is the use of the input tag here? In the name itself, we have a definition. Input means using this tag only, the user will give the data. So wherever you write the input tag, what it means, the user is going to enter some information. Okay, input tag means what? Using that tag only, we'll create some fields, and in that fields the user can enter some information. Okay, and different and when you are writing an input tag, some attributes are there for input tag. What type of input the user is entering? Okay, what is the minimum size, maximum size of data you are collecting from a user? That information, that additional information you can give by using the different attributes which you can write inside a input tag. Okay, so there are different types of input elements. First one is a text field. Text field also in the last class I have explained. Text field means which allows the user to enter one line of text. Okay, like enter student name, enter father name, enter area name, like that, where the user can enter only one line of text. That type of input, if you want only one line of text, if you want to collect from a user, that is nothing but the input type equals to text field. Here you can see text field. You see the syntax? Input type equals to text field. What it means, the user is going to give text. Okay. Now these are all in the last class explained. The next one is a password. Okay. So what is the difference between normal text and the password? Only whatever characteristics you have for a text, all the characteristics you have for a password also. But the thing is, using a password, if you have given any field as a password, any field type as a password, then what it means, whatever the content the user is entering, that is not displayed as a normal text. How it will be displayed? Like in a special symbols, in a special characters, that will be displayed. Like the practical part already I have explained. Instead of the characters, what you will get, circles, asterisk, such type of characters are displayed when you enter the text. Okay, so that is a password. Okay, now here you see syntax have given input is a tag. What type of input we are collecting from a user? Password. So that I have given type equals to password. Now name equals to password means whatever information the user is entering in that particular field, that field is identified with the name attribute. Okay, now see the definition here. This works the same way as the text field, except the characters whatever the user is typing, that is displayed in some special symbol like a asterisk and all. Okay, and whatever size, you can give a size attribute, minimum length attribute, maximum length attributes you can give. Okay, you can restrict the user to enter text by using a minimum and a maximum attributes. Okay, so here you see only one thing you need to remember is using a text you will have you are entering a text. Using a password also will enter in the same way will enter the text. Only the difference is use if you have given input type equals to password, whatever content the user has entered, that is not displayed as it is. Instead of the characters, what will be displayed? Some special symbol, and this special symbol for a security purpose. That's it. Now here attributes you can see what additional information, what extra information you can pass to the password field is. First one is the size. Okay, size also already I have explained. Size is nothing but, see in the below picture, PW is nothing but the password. Whatever asterisks are there, no? That asterisks where we are entering in a blue color box. So this blue color box, how much you want, that information you can give by using a size. So size is nothing but the size of the box. Okay. Next value. Value is nothing but the default value. Before entering anything, if you want to give, if you want to supply any default value, that you can give by using a value attribute. Now the next one is max length. Means how many maximum number of characters you want to collect from a user. Okay, example in some websites the maximum number of characters the user can enter is 20 and the minimum number of characters 8. Okay, such type of conditions that are called as a constraints. Such type of constraints you can pass by using these attributes. Okay, max length, minimum length. Your minimum also you can give, min length also you can give. Okay, that these things already I have explained in the practical part. Okay, now this is the password field. So whatever characters you have entered, that is not displayed as it is. How it is displaying? Some special symbol. In some special symbol, it is displaying. Now, the text area field. See, in a text field, in a password field, there we entered only one line text. How it is displaying, that is different. But we entered only one line of text. But example, in some websites, if you want to give any comment or if you want to provide any information, if you want to give your feedback, well, one line of text is not enough, one line box is not enough. Well, you need a box which is of more than one row and more than one column. So in HTML, that type of box are created by using the text field. Okay, for the text field, the best example is address, feedback, comment, where we'll give a comment more than one line. So in that cases, we'll use a text area field. Okay, text area field, text field, both are same. But in a text field, we can enter only one line of text. Whereas, if it is a text area, we can enter multiple lines of text as a input. Okay, and here one condition you need to remember is if it is a text field, if it is a password, then we'll give input type equals to text field, input type equals to password. But in case of text area, we won't use the input tag. Instead of the input tag, what we'll use a text area tag. Okay, so text area tag, it is a tag. In this tag only we'll give the rows information and columns information. Means how much box you want, that sizes you should give. How you can give the sizes? By using a rows attribute. Means how many lines, how many rows you want in that particular box and how many columns you want in that particular box, that information you should supply. Okay, so only the thing is, if it is a text field, we can enter only one line of text. If it is a text area field, we can enter multiple lines of text. But how many lines of text you want, that information you should give. Either how many rows of box you want and how many columns you want, that you should give. Okay, so here I have given some one definition of the text area field. once you check it, text area fields can contain many lines of text. Okay, so text area field can contain many lines. It's more than one line. If it is only one line, you can go with the text field, but if you have more than one line, then you can use the text area. Okay, so using this, the user can enter large input to the server. Okay, large input means it's more than one line. Right. Next, here if you want to create a comment box feedback, there we'll use a text area. So text area is created by using a text area tag. So you see the definition in the second paragraph. The text area is a tag. Defines a multi-line text input. Multi-line, more than one line input the user can enter. Okay, the text area can hold an unlimited number of characters. Unlimited. There is no particular minimum length and maximum length. It can hold unlimited number of characters. And what is the size of that box? It depends on the rows value and the columns value. Okay, so here we won't use the input tag. Instead of the input tag, what we are using? Text area tag. Okay, you see the syntax. Here I am creating a box, and the size of that box is 20 rows and 80 columns. And one column means you can enter only one character column. Right, you see, 20 lines box with 80 characters. Here I have given the syntax. Once you see the syntax, text area is a tag. And what is the name of that box? Message. How many rows the user can enter in that? What is this? How many rows that box can hold? How many rows of content? That is, rows equals to 20. Means the user can enter 20 lines of text. Next, columns. Here, instead of the columns, you can give calls also. You can give. How many columns? 80. Means in each row, the user can enter 80 characters. Okay. Now, maximum length 2000. Means in that box, the user can enter up to 2000 characters. The user can enter. Okay. Only one thing you need to remember is, if it is a text field, you can enter one line text. If it is a text area, the user can enter multi lines. But how many lines you can enter? That is depends on the information you are providing using a rows attributes, calls attributes. Rows equals to 10. Example means in that box consists of only 10 rows. The columns equals to 80 means that in that box columns are 80. The user can enter up to 80 characters in a single line. Right. Now name the name of the box, rows. You see the attributes here. Rows, it specifies the number of lines to be written. How many number of lines you want in that particular box, that you can give by using a rows attribute. Now the calls attribute, it specifies the width of the text area. Width, how many number of columns you want in that box, that you can give by using a calls attribute. Okay, you can see this. This is a text area. Now, next, hidden field. See, hidden field is nothing but in the name itself you have a definition. Hidden means for this field information is not provided by the user, and this is a common value for some input values. So when you enter that input values, with that input values, this hidden field information is also submitted. See example, electronic students are there. Before and I am searching marks of electronic students. Every time I won't enter third BSc, MECS, third BSc, NPCS, I won't enter. With the help of your, when you enter a hall ticket number, no, according to your series, by default, that branch is added. Okay, so where we are not entering the branch, just we are entering the hall ticket number. When you enter the hall ticket number, by default, the remaining information is also displayed. How it is coming? That whatever field you are getting, no, that fields are nothing but the hidden fields. Okay, so in the hidden field, the user no need to enter the complete information. where the required fields are there, that fields the user will enter, and whatever the default values are there, that are supplied to the server. Okay, that are hidden fields. So here you can see input type equals to hidden, name equals to variable, and value equals to A210. Okay, so hidden field. The hidden field is shown into the user, but the data is sent when the form is submitted. So hidden field, whatever information is there, no, that information, if example if you enter Aadhaar, no, the remaining information is displayed. The remaining information the user is no need enter. That is a hidden information. When the user gives and clicks on the register button, with that Aadhaar number, whatever remaining information is there, that is submitted. Why? Because the remaining fields are hidden fields. Now, the next input field is a button. See, buttons, I'll give you one example. When you give a Facebook, in Facebook, will give a username and password. After giving a username and password, you will click on that. So wherever you are clicking, no, if you are clicking with your mouse pointer, that is nothing but the button. Okay, example, you are saving, you'll click on the save. Okay, after giving a location, we'll click on that particular rectangular box, saving, login, register. We are clicking on that using the mouse pointer. So that are called as the buttons. So in web technologies, we have different types of buttons. According to your requirement, you can use the buttons. Okay, so buttons means always it performs some action. Whether you are opening a file, whether you are saving a file, you're deleting a file. Okay, so when you click on that particular button, always that button will perform some action. Okay, so like this, in web technologies, here we have a different types of buttons. Now we'll discuss about that buttons. See, the first one is a checkbox. This also I have explained in the practical part. Checkboxes. Box. Here, example, if you are taking any survey or you are taking some information from a user, where you need a hobbies of the particular person. So, actually, it is in a general phenomena. Hobbies is not only the single value. Person may have more than one hobby. So, in that case, multiple inputs will collect from a user. So, when you are collecting a multiple input from a user, then there we can implement checkboxes. Okay. So, checkboxes are rectangular boxes. Okay, checkboxes are rectangular boxes, and using your mouse pointer, if you if you click on any rectangular box, that value is considered as an input. Okay, so your definition, first you see the output, then you will come to know. See, select your hobbies. These boxes are there now. These boxes, right? These boxes. So these boxes are called as a checkboxes. When you click on that checkbox, that is considered. Example, I am clicking on this rectangular plane. Okay, before the plane you have a rectangular box. So if I am clicking on that, so playing is submitted as an input. Okay, here I have given reading, listening music, watching. So before that you have a checkbox. No? If you click on that, that reading is submitted as an input to the server. Okay, so here once you go to the definition, checkbox is represented by a square icon. See, here you have a square icon. Before the reading, what you have? Square icon. Okay, which is used for a multiple selections. So if you are collecting a multiple input value for one input field from a user, there you can use the checkboxes. And the user can select or deselect by clicking on it. Means first time if you are selecting on the rectangular box, that is selected. Second time again you are clicking on that, that is deselected. Okay, so you can select or you can deselect by using by clicking on that particular checkbox. Okay. Here, more here you have, you can see a selected checkbox is usually shown in a light green, that is highlight. Checkbox are often used in a series so that the user can easily specify all of the preferences. Say example, when you are submitting your subjects to the university website. There you have more than one subject like Hindi, English, Telugu, Maths, Science. There you have more options, so more input you are submitting. So when you are submitting more inputs, then you can use the check boxes. Okay. So here you see the example. What are your hobbies? That I have given as a text only. Okay. And you see what type of input? Input is a tag. Type equals to attribute. What type of input? It is checkbox. And see, wherever you are writing the input tag, no, there you will get that square icon. Okay. And after that, what you have? Reading. So if you are selecting that square icon, that reading is submitted as the input. What is the next square icon? Input type equals to checkbox, listening. Third one is a watching. Fourth one is a sports. So if you want to select the sports, then before the sports, whatever rectangular that square icon is there, no, just you click on that, then that will be considered as a input. So here just by clicking on that, we are sending some data to the server. So that is why it is called as a button. Now radio button. Radio button also practical in the practicals already I have explained. Radio button, see, using the check boxes we are giving a multiple input to the server. Okay, multiple input values the user can give to the server. But sometimes you want only one and only one value for that particular input field. So for this I'll give you one example. Date of birth is there. This is a single value. And next, if you take the gender information, male and female, there the user need to select only one option. So in that cases, we'll use a radio buttons. If it is a checkbox, the user can give multiple input values. But if it is a radio button, the user should give only one value. Okay. So here when you come to the hobbies, no, here the user can give a multiple hobbies. But when you come to a gender information, the user need to give only one value. Okay, either male or female. So your radio button is also button, but in the check boxes the user is giving a multiple values, and using a radio button the user should give only one value. See. So radio buttons are similar to the check boxes. Yes, because radio buttons will also come under the buttons. But these are similar to the check boxes, but these are displayed in a circular format. You can see here, circular format. Male, female, circles are there, no? So that is called as a circular format. That two are called as a radio buttons. So radio buttons are displayed in a circular format. It is also used for list of items. So radio button is also used for a list of items, and whatever list is there, from that list the user need to select only one option. Whereas it is a check boxes, the user can give multiple input. But if it is a radio button, the user should give only one input. Okay. And same, and selection is same. By clicking on that radio button, that option is selected, and the second time if you are clicking on that same option, that will be deselected. Selection process is common in checkbox and in radio button. First time if you are selecting, that is considered as the input. Second time you are selecting, that is deselected. Okay. Now you see, and one more condition is, if you are using a more number of options in a radio buttons, for all those options, name attribute value should be common, because here the user need to give only one value. So where the user need to give only one value, in that cases name attribute value should be common for all the inputs. Now see the syntax here. Input type equals to radio. So what type of input it is? Radio. And what is the name? Gender. Now that you see the second one, input type equals to radio. name equals to gender. But here name is same, input type equals to the same, but only the difference is whatever label you are giving, that is the difference. So before or after whichever label you are entering the content, no, so that is considered as an input. So if you are clicking on that particular radio button, that is considered as an input. See here, if I am clicking on the female, so female is considered as an input. I am clicking on the radio button which is after the female, then female is considered as a input. So depends on the radio button you are selecting, that label is considered as an input. Now you see the submit button. This button is very familiar. After entering all the fields like text field, password field, radio buttons, text area, check boxes, after entering all those fields, you want to submit to the server. So when that will be submitted, when you click on that submit button, that is submitted as an input. So when you click on that submit button, at that time only whatever fields you have entered, that field will be submitted to a server, and most probably this button will write at the end of the form. At the end, submit and reset, two buttons will write at the end. So when the user, after filling all the form fields, when the user clicks on the submit, no, that whatever fields the user has entered, that will be submitted to a server. Unless until if you won't select, if you select the submit, no, your data is not submitted. If you select the submit button, then only your data is submitted. Otherwise, your data is not submitted to a server. So yes, most of the forms requires the use of the submit button. After user fills out the form, the submit button is pressed. Okay, after filling the form, I will click on the submit button. So when the user clicks on the submit button, whatever fields the user has entered, that is submitted to a server. See here, input type equals to what? Submit. Okay, input type equals to submit, and the value is submit. Here value is nothing but it is a label. On that button, like login, register, that are label, no? So here submit is a label. Whatever value you gave as a value of the value attribute, that is displayed on that button. Okay, it is just like a name. The next, reset. This is also similar to a submit. So submit button, what is the job of the submit button? Submit button submits whatever data you have given to the server, whereas reset button clears all the fields data and it will display the fresh form. Okay, example, you have entered some information and later you realize that whatever you have entered, that is wrong. Then whatever, you can click on the reset button. So when you click on the reset button, then whatever information you have entered, that will be erased and a fresh form will be displayed to the user, so that the user can enter fresh new information once again in the same form. That is a reset. This is also maximum will write at the end of the form only, and this submit and reset button both will write in the same line. So here the reset button is similar to the submit button and it can be used along with the submit button at the end of the form. It clears all the selections made by the user. So whatever previously the user has entered, that will be cleared by using a reset. You can see the syntax. Input type equals to reset, value equals to reset. Right. Now image. See, actually where we'll use the image, sometimes in some forms they will ask you to upload your photo. Okay, so whatever you are giving, that is called as an input. So example, you are giving your image, your picture you are giving. So in that case, input is considered as an image. Okay, so an image can also be placed place of the submit button to submit the data to the server. Okay, and example, click. Some pictures you will get in some particular websites, and when you click on that, your data is submitted, or some information it will display. So instead of the simple text, if there is a image you are submitting, you are clicking, that is called as a image input. Here you can see input type equals to image, align middle, and if it is an image, you should give the location. What is the name of the image? You should give, because if you want to display the image, you need an image. So how will you give the image? By using a source attribute. Now here one more important one is selection list. First I will show you the output here. Drop down, see, subject. So when you select the subject, here down arrow you there, no? So if you click on that down arrow, it will display the number of options, and from that number of options you need to select one option. So this is called as a drop down list. So here also whatever you are selecting, that is considered as an input, no? So such type of a drop down list if you want to create, then here we use a selection list. Using a selection list, you can create a drop down list where you can display number of options to the user, and the user will select one option from available. Okay, so here we'll use the two tags. One is a select tag and the second one is option. Using a select tag, we are creating a drop down list, and whatever options are there in that are created by using a option tag. So here, select name weekday, and options Sunday, Monday, Tuesday. So weekday is displayed, and after the weekday you will get one down arrow. When you click on that, what options will be displayed? Sunday, Monday, Tuesday. Okay, this is the selection tag. So using a selection tag in the form, you can create a drop down list. Next here, the last one is a file as a input. See example, and sometimes you will submit any Word file or any Excel file or any your resume as an input. File upload message, file upload button you will get. So when you click on the file upload button, it will ask you to upload a file. So in that case, what input you are giving? You are giving a file. So that file is called as an input. So file upload is nothing but file as an input. So here you see the syntax. Input type equals to file. What type of input you are giving? File. And value equals to upload. Here sometimes when you are selecting a input type as a file, no, it will ask you the location. Okay. So here you can give the source src you can give. So this is about forms concept, and this is a last topic in the first unit. In the next class I will start the second unit, and whatever now I have explained, no, for all those things in the previous class only I have sent the practical part. If you have any doubt in this, once you go through that practical part. Okay, thank you.